Our world is evolving, and advancements in technologies bring new opportunities to overcome these challenges and gain efficiencies. The building industry alone is undergoing a major transformation.
Good day everyone. Our topic today is about the development of science and technology under Ferdinand Marcos, Corazon Aquino, and Fidel Ramos. So before anything else, this is Datu Manaot, Masukat. To start with, let us talk about science and technology, which is introduction before we go further to our topic. Science, technology, and society, or STS, is an interdisciplinary field that studies the contribution under which the production, distribution, and utilization of science knowledge and technological systems. In short, study of how social, political, culture, values research, and technological innovation. Let's now proceed our contribution of the presidents. In President Ferdinand Marcos ruled the Philippines for 21 years in his term. There has been so many contributions related to science and technology. During Ferdinand Marcos' presidency, the importance given to science grew. In the amended 1973 Philippine Constitution Article 15, or Section 9, he declared that the advancement of science and technology shall have priority in the national development. Directed the Department of Education to revitalize the science courses in public high schools. The Department of Education with the National Science Development Board, or NSDB. In his second State of the Nation address on January 23, 1967, he declared that science was necessary for the development programs, and thus directed the Department of Education to revitalize the science courses. Modernize the coconut industry. In his fifth State of the Nation address on January 26, 1970, he emphasized that he wanted Philippine Coconut Research Institute, the National Science Development Board, to modernize coconut industry since it is where we get our oils and it is own of our country business that we wanted to progress. Presidential Decree Number 4, 1972. He created the National Grains Authority to provide the development of the rice and corn industry. To fully harness it for the economy of the country with the mission of promoting the interacted growth and development of grains industry, covering rice, corn, and more. Presidential Decree Number 78, 1972. In 1973, he created the Philippine National Oil Company to promote industrial and economic development through effective and efficient use of energy sources. The company shall have the following purposes. A. To provide and maintain an adequate and stable supply of oil and petroleum products for the domestic requirements. B. To promote the exploration and development of local and petroleum sources. C. To foster oil or petroleum operation condition conducive to a balanced and sustainable growth of the economy. Presidential Decree Number 1003-A, 1976, to establish a National Academy of Science and Technology which is composed of science with innovative achievement in the basic and applied sciences, to serve as a reservoir of scientific and technological expertise for the country. Executive Order Number 1090, Section 1986. He established the Mindanao and Visayas campuses of the Philippine Science High School to encourage careers in science and technology and to be more accessible to the talented students in the Mindanao and Visayas areas. And those were President Marcos' contribution related to science and technology in his 21 years in the industry. So now, let's talk about Maria Corazon C. Aquino. In 1986, Corazon C. Aquino presidency. First, the National Science and Technology Authority was replaced by Department of Science and Technology, 1986, giving science and technology a representation in the cabinet under the medium-term Philippine Development Plan for the years 1987 to 1992. Science and technology's role in economic recovery and sustained economic growth was highlighted. August 8, 1988, Presidential Task Force for Science and Technology Master Plan or STMP. The goal of STMP was for the Philippines to achieve newly industrialized country status by the year 2000. President Corazon Aquino encouraged scientists and investors to bring the Philippines to its former position as the second to the only Japan in the field of science and technology. Recognition of Philippine bureaucracy that Executive Order Number 123 abolished Republic Act Number 3859, also known as the Philippine Investor Incentive Act. This Philippine Investors Commission was under the Science Development Board. It gave assistance to Filipino investors throughout giving financial aid, patent applications assistance, legal assistance, and to help investors market their products domestically and abroad, to aid the progress of science and technology in the country. Republic Act 6655 or the Free Public Secondary Education Act of 1988 opened doors to free education up to the second level, implemented in the education system. Together with this was the Science for the Masses program, which aimed at the scientific and technological literacy among Filipinos. The Aquino administration recognized the importance of science and technology in the development of the Philippines into a newly industrialized country, and those were President Corazon Aquino's contribution related to science and technology. And now let's talk about President Fidel V. Ramos regarding his contribution related to science and technology. 3,500 scholarships for students who were taking up professions related to science and technology. Schools were becoming more modernized and updated with the addition of high-tech equipment for student improvement, and teachers were getting training programs to benefit themselves and their students. Republic Act Number 8439 was established. The award was published in order to give incentive and reward for people who have been influential in the field of science and technology. Republic Act Number 8439, Science and Technology Scholarship Law of 1994. Republic Act Number 7687, Investors and Invention Insensitive Act. Republic Act Number 7459, the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines. Republic Act Number 8293. The law provides industrial property rights, copyrights and related rights, and technology transfers arrangement. And those were President Ferdinand Marcos, Corazon Aquino, and Fidel Ramos' contribution to science and technology. Contribution of Estrada, Arroyo, and Binigno Aquino Jr. will be discussed by next reporter.
Good day everyone, and especially to you ma'am. My name is Muhaimin kubong. So today, I will discuss the development of science and technology under Estrada, Arroyo, and Binigno Aquino Jr. Fourth topic is all about the President Estrada. So President Estrada will lead the program discussion that will also focus on the function of the Department of Science and Technology under Secretary Falmon Oriarte and the government effort to enhance the information technology, in short, IT, sector in the country. They will discuss with the President and his co-anchor, Ted Filon, what the Department of Science and Technology is doing to realize the Estrada administration objectives of developing a pool of Filipino professionals and workers highly skilled in the science and technology field. The modernization of the agricultural, industrial, and service sector is, they will also talk about the government effort to develop science and technology in the countries in a bid accelerate the implements of the gains export or the GAINEX to strengthen the scientific capabilities of exporters. The fourth is the setting up of the regional food microbiology laboratories is to ensure the quality and safety of local foods products and exports. The implementation of the climate information, monitoring and prediction services is to make weather forecasting more useful for managing and agriculture and water resources. 6. The creation of the field job net is to improve the job placement and information network in the country through IT. The implementation of the Project RISE or the rescue initiatives for science education to upgrade the science technology learning. So the project has so far benefited in 1,324 teachers and 10,787 science scholars. The launching of the mobile information technology classroom in Mindanao is to provide student hands-on training in IT lessons. The strengthening of the National Computer Center to fulfill its goals of setting up a government information infrastructure, which will result in eradicating red tape in the bureaucracy is PNA and OPS, which means the PNA and OPM. The PNA is peptide nucleic acid and the OPS is Operation Paging System. Let's proceed to the fifth topic. Gloria Arroyo. The youth must be encouraged to take science and technology. Manila, Philippines Speaker Gloria Arroyo urged global parliamentarians yesterday to encourage the youth to go into the science and technology to attend peace and address to growing need for innovation. So, Gloria Arroyo, she told the 139 International Parliamentarians Union, in short IPU, the General Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland, that for the world to achieve peace and cope in the age of innovation and technology, young people must be encouraged to take science and engineering courses. Arroyo, who held the Philippines delegation to the IPU Assembly, said parliamentarians and parliaments Arroyo is provide the budget to encourage more youth to pursue scientific and engineering studies, and the delegation includes Scence is Franklin Drilon, Ralph Recto, and Panfilo Lacson, and Rep. Rodante Marcoleta, and Greg Gasataya, and Federico Sandoval, and Ron Salo, and Ma Teresa Colantes, and Caslo Alexi Nogrates. IPU is a globe organization of parliamentarians from 178 members states. So, its annual General Assembly brings together noted parliamentarians from member states to promote and address democracy, equality, and development into peace in their own countries at international level. And this year assembly theme is parliamentary leadership in promoting peace and development in the age of innovation and technology. Let's proceed to the last topic. The President Binigno Aquino III expressing the Department of commitment to build on top of what it has built. Montejo regards Project NOAA as a building block that can serve as a tool for other important research and development output, and such as using it in the near future to determine water level in the street and other low-lying areas. In an impromptu message, Angara mentioned 5 mass area of innovation, which is food and agriculture, health, energy, water, and efficient household. And taking the highlight as keynote speaker, Ligarda on the other hand, challenged the country's scientists to act swiftly and decisively to address the need to make the country disaster and resilient in the midst of the risk and caused by climate change. Ligarda also spoke of the needed government support for the country's scientists is to be able the development, life and livelihood saving technologies, and this is, she said, can be achieved by putting life into science and technology, make it more attractive in her own lingo, making it appear sexy. That will be all. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I am your lecturer for today. I'm the one who explaining lesson 2, which is science and technology and its role in nation building. What is science? What is technology? Science is known as study of knowledge, which is made into a system and depends on analyzing and understanding facts. So, technology. It is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. It is the use of resources made available by the nature to create and make. Importance of science and technology in national development. Modernization in every aspect of life is the greatest example of implementation of science and technology in every nation. Because introduction of modern gadget, our life become simple, and easier. Without our modern equipment, it's hard on us to make our medicines that cure in our sick, and it's hard on us to build an infrastructure. Science and technology are the key drivers for development because science and technology advancement improve health system, education, and infrastructure. Technology plays fundamental role in wealth creation, improvement in the health quality of life, and real economic growth. Without proper implementation of science and technology, no nation could grow. All those nations that were labeled slow in growth have proven where they stand today. All that happened because of science and technology. Importance of science and technology. Today, we cannot expect our life without the science and technology. Science and technology is extremely essential in our everyday life as they have made things more simple, fast, and secure. They have made things more simple. Almost of everything that we all use made of science and technology, like the smartphones, fans, wheels, vehicles, clothes, paper, toothbrush, electricity, microwave, radios, televisions, laptops, and many more is a product of science and technology that make our life easier and simpler. What science and technology do for us? First, it helps us to save our time and money. Second, education. It gives education. And the third, internet. And fourth, provide us devices for comfortable sleeping, quick cooking, and fast commute. And the fifth is, it helps us live a better life. Effect of technology on society. In present global situation, numerous powerful technologies have been developed to assist people in household and offices. Faster communication is made possible through mobile phones and internet. New technology impact our lives in every field, from the cars, cell phones, computers, and networks and power. In fact, humans have always been greatly affected with the development in new technology. First effect of technology in the society is technology has improved transportation. Transportation is mobility for goods and people. There are 4 transportation. First, road transportation, or the automobility or the cars. Second, air transportation or the airplanes. Third, water transportation or the ships and the speedboats. And the last one is the space transportation or the spaceships. The second effect is technology has improved communication. By the use of science and technology, we can easily communicate our relatives for the country with the use of cell phones. And the third effect of technology is the World Wide Web. We can use the www to search our needs or we can search the things that we need to know in the Google or in the internet. And the last one effect of technology is technology has improved education and the learning. The role of science and technology in nation building. Science and technology has been one of the main driving forces of the economic growth of nation. Most developed countries have generated a new technology with the potential to result in dynamic economic performance. However, has not been the case with most of the developing countries, and their developmental plans have not given emphasis and importance to science and technology, and in particular to research in the science and technology aspect. Countries like India, South Korea, Taiwan are example for developing countries because of their investment in science and technology. Science and technology is stimulating the economic growth. It is well accepted that science and technology must necessarily generate new knowledge by exchanging in meaningful and appropriate research and developmental activities. Researchers should focus in developing a globally competitive technology that every nation can use. So that's all for my topic on lesson 2, which is the science and technology and its role in nation building. So thank you for listening, and I hope you understand.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I'm Shahad Abdulgani. Today, I'll discuss to you the government laws, policies, and projects pertaining to science and technology. The role that science and technology has played in improving the life condition of people in the world is vivid. Because the Philippines is a developing country, the status of science and technology in our country is still below par when compared with countries like Japan and USA. There is a great use, therefore, to enact for laws and strengthen exciting want to improve science and technology, including research and development in the country. Science and Technology Environment from 1986 to 2016. President Corazon Aquino highlighted the importance of science and technology in achieving economic progress. She helped establish the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, which formulated the Science and Technology Master Plan 1991 to 2000. At that time, the Philippines aimed to be newly industrialized country. Succeeding presidents have their fair shares of policies geared towards improving sectors. President V. Ramos introduced laws inventors incentive and science and technology scholarship, while President Gloria Arroyo adopted policies focusing on a national innovation system and promoted technologies entrepreneurships under the Medium-Term Development Plan 2004 to 2010. The most recent National and Technology Plan 2002 and 2020 is largely focused on building technology self-reliance. Meanwhile, the harmonized agenda for science and technology presented to President Binigno Aquino in 2014 highlighted the two critical issues, including growth and disaster risk reduction. Critical technology to address these issues have been developed, and these include LOAR processing, remote servicing, and microsatellites, or DIWATA. Government policies and laws pertaining to science and technology. To improve and strengthen science and technology, including research development, it is necessary that government enact laws. Several laws have been enacted by Congress since 1988 to present. They are as follows. Republic Act 2067, Science Act of 1958, an act to integrate, coordinate, and intensity scientific and technological research and development, and to foster invention to provide funds therefore and for other purposes. Republic Act 3589, An act amending Republic Act 2067, modifying the National Science and Development Board National Institute of Science and Technology, and the Philippine Atomic Energy Commission, and extending tax exemption, privileges of grants, requests and donations for scientific purposes to private educational institutions and for other purposes. Republic Act 5207, an act providing for licensing and regulations of the atomic energy facilities and materials, establishing the rules of liability for nuclear damage and for other purposes. This act was approved on June 15, 1968 to encourage, promote, and assist the development and use of atomic energy for peaceful purposes as a means to improve the health and prosperity of inhabitants of the Philippines and to contribute and accelerate scientific, technological, agricultural, commercial, and industrial progress. Presidential Decree Number 49, 1972 established the Philippine Atmosphere Geophysical and Astronomical Services, or PAGASA. Its function was to provide environmental protection and to utilize scientific knowledge to ensure the safety of the people. Presidential Decree Number 334-S 1973 created the Philippine National Company to promote industrial and economic development through effective and efficient use of energy resources. Creating the Philippine National Oil Company, defining its power and functions, providing funds therefore and for other purposes. Republic Act 8749, the Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999, was enacted by Congress on June 23, 1999 to protect and preserve the environment and ensure the sustainable development of its natural resources. Otherwise known as the Philippine Clean Air Act, is a comprehensive air quality management policy and program which aims to achieve and maintain healthy air for all Filipinos. Next, Republic Act 8792, an act of providing for the recognition and use of effectiveness commercial and non-commercial transactions and documents, penalties for unlawful use of thereof and other purposes passed in June 15, 2000. It is also known as Electronic Commerce Act. This act aims to domestic and international dealings, transactions, assignment, agreement, contracts, and exchanges, the storage of, through the utilization of electronic, optical, and exchanges optical and similar medium mode. The technology to recognize the width and reliability of electronic documents, activities, and to promote the universal use of electronic transaction in the general public. Republic Act 9367, Biofuels Act of 2006. The purpose of this act is to develop and use indigenous renewable energy to reduce dependence on imported oil, reduce toxic emissions, and ensure the availability of alternative and renewable clean energy without causing any harm to the natural ecosystem, biodiversity, and food reserves of the country. Republic Act 10612, Science and Technology Scholarship Act of 1994, an act expanding the coverage of the science and technology scholarship program and strengthening the teaching of science and mathematics in secondary school. It envisions a fast-tracking or more science, technology, engineering graduates by offering scholarship to deserving students in these courses in their third year of undergraduate study based on their competitiveness and merit. Next, Republic Act 10844, an act of promoting job generation and inclusive growth through the development of micro, small, and medium enterprises. An act creating the Department of Information and Communication Technology, DICT, which was signed into a law on May 23, 2016. And that's all. Thank you.
Good day, ma'am. This is report of group funding. Major Science and Technology Development Plan. Science and Technology Master Plan, STMP. This plan was submitted to the President in March 1989 by the Presidential Task Force composed of 3 types of department. First one is Department of Science and Technology, DOST. Second is Department of Agriculture, DA. Third is Department of Trade Industry, DTI. The Presidential Advisor on Public Resources and the 3 academic institutions directly involved in science and technology. The Department of 15 leading edges. Number 1 is aquaculture, 2 is marine fisheries, 3 is forestry, 4 is nature resources, 5 is process industry, 6 is food, 7 feed industry, 8 is energy, 9 is transportation, 10 is construction technology, and 11 is information technology, 12 electronic, 13 is instrumentation and control, 14 is emerging technology, and the last 15 is pharmaceuticals. Let's proceed to Science and Technology Agenda for National Development. STAN Philippines 2000, it is planned initiated during term of former President Ramos. It's embodied to the country development plan. In the medium terms for the period in 1993 to 1998, it consists 7 export winners, 11 domestic needs, and 3 other supporting industries. In coconut industry for priority investment area. Let's tackle the 7 export winners. First is computer software, second is fashion accessories, third is gift toys and housewares, fourth is metals fabrication, and last, furniture and dried fruits. And let's tackle the domestic needs: food, housing, health, clothing, transportation, communication, and disaster mitigation, defense, and environment, manpower, development, and energy. This domestic needs as part of STAN plan is also important for development matter. National Science and Technology Plan, NSTP 2002 to 2020. Department of Science and Technology support on National Department prioritize by the formulating science and technology policies, program and project in guiding NSTP. Mainly, that by 2010 Philippines shall have niches and become a world-class knowledge provider to develop science and technology culture. By the 2020, Philippines have developed a wide range of global competitive products and high technological services content. On 2014, science and technology contribute significantly for enhancement of national productivity and competitiveness to facing problem just to pursue the development. This one is status of science and technology and plan for develop under President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Duterte administration reassured its commitment to science, technology, innovation sectors by increasing in the budget of Department of Science and Technology (DOST). The budget of DOST has quadrupled in the last 7 years from 50 billion in 2020 to 208 billion in 2017. Science and technology must create an avenue for development in various sectors. DOST Secretary Fortunato de la Pena identified the focus of the department as technology transfer and commercialization. 10% of budget was allocated for technology transfer that result to generation of 1,000 new intellectual priorities. Let's tackle the major accomplishments of the Duterte administration. The Duterte administration support to the Philippines Space Technology Program. Diwata 1 satellite, which was launched in 2016, was made by Filipino scientists who were trained in Japan. These space technologies can also be utilized in other sectors such as in agriculture and disaster preparedness. These space technologies had a memorandum of agreement between Russia and the Philippines regarding the space program will soon materialize. On June 15, 2018, President signed the Law of Republic Act 1135, an act institutionalizing the Balik Scientist Program, meaning to say that this law would give more incentive to returning Filipino scientists, experts, and inventors and engineering to share their expertise in the country. Duterte administration also support the Department of Information and Communication companies. They all agreed to standardize voice call charged into 2.50 pesos. On whether the DOST installed a 217 new weather station throughout the country. Zamboanga Doppler weather radar system was also installed.
Good day everyone, my name is Datu Fahad Salik, and my topic is about the human flourishing in terms of science and technology. Flourishing, a state where people experience positive emotions, positive psychological functioning, and positive social functioning. Most of the time, living within optimal range of human functioning. Human flourishing, an effort to achieve self-actualization and fulfillment within the context of a larger community of individuals, each with the right to pursue his or her own interests with such effort. Involves the rational use of one's individual human potentialities, including talents, abilities, and virtues in the pursuit of his freely rationally chosen values and goals. As William Shakespeare says, I quote, all the world's stage, and the men and women are merely players. They have their exits and entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. End of the quote. Every living creature is meant to become what is he meant to become in the future. Caterpillar is meant to become a beautiful butterfly. As we grow and develop, there are different questions that need to be undertaken. Flourishing, the highest good of human being, when he or she achieve it for betterment of his or her life. Aristotle, human flourishing arises as a product of different factors such as phronesis, friendship, wealth, and power. The ancient Greek society believed that for the people to achieve the true meaning of happiness, these qualities should be acquired, when in effect allow them to join the greater notion of what we call all good.
day everyone, I am Bai Jehan in Masandag and I'll be discussing about technology as a way of revealing. The term generation gap is attributed mainly to the changes brought about by technology. Although the original idea is for technology to help everyone, it cannot be denied that until today, not everyone is comfortable in using the different kinds of technologies. Mostly those who belong to the older generation think that these technologies are too complicated to use or to operate. They have been used to the simple living in the past, and these available technology devices, though very appealing, are a difficult puzzle to them. The human condition before Common Era. Our early ancestors' primal need to survive paved way for the invention of several developments. Gifted with brains more advanced than other creatures, humans are able to utilize abundant materials for their own ease and comfort. Stone Age. Homo erectus have been using fire to cook, through chipping one flint over the other to produce a spark, all the while without realizing the law of friction and heat. Homo sapiens and humans began to sharpen stones as one would a knife. An example of this is the simple machine called wedge. There is a little to no written account except for several cave drawing and underneath for unearthed artifacts from various parts of the world that narrate to how their culture to be. Venus. It depicts a rudimentary carving of a voluptuous woman out of ivory or stone. Soon enough, people discovered minerals and began forging metal work. They realized that these substances are more durable, malleable, and have more luster than the previous materials. For clothing and animal skin are primarily used for comfort against harsh winds, and ancestors are able to draw the connection their being naked and vulnerable due to some lack of dew or protective covering which would otherwise allow them to withstand extreme weather conditions. They began to cover themselves up out of necessity and gradually added several more to their garments. Some of those found at excavation sites are reminiscent of early accessories, suggesting that our ancestors have been deeply engaged in the concept of beauty. There are several figures thought to be ceremonial to honor deity, the initial roster of primitive gods, including objects they encounter through their day-to-day lives. That's why different tribes have their own different gods. Primitive gods includes elephants and mammoths in their hunting grounds, mountains god to explain with currents, water gods for good catch, and genetic god such as the sun. The mammoth skins are used for their woolly coat, while the mammoth's meat serve as food for the community to eat. The human condition in the Common Era. Earliest case of man-made extinction occurred over 12,000 years ago, possibly brought upon by hunting and territorial disputes. The Holocene extinction occurred from as early as between 100,000 to 200,000 years up to the present. It pertains to the ongoing extinction of several species, both flora, plants, and fauna animals, due to human activity. Growing population also necessitated finding additional resources, leading to overhunting and overflourishing common prey, some of which were endemic to the era. Hunting, coupled with the changing terrain that the humans began cultivating when agriculture emerged some 9,000 years ago, caused several species to lose competition in territory and food resources. So, you can watch a short video of this man-made extinction. Formation of communities caused humans to expand more territory and more people to feed. Large, separate communities hailing from the same ancestor and residing in the same large community paved way for civilization. Albeit waging wars with other tribes seemed to be an early solution. They were able to find out some 5,000 years ago that engaging in a peaceful negotiation was also a possible and less bloody method. They realized that they could hold things not present in theirs. It is in the process that trade emerged, leading to cross-town and eventually cross-cultural interactions as more products were exchanged and the initial needs extend to one. Technology has been instrumental in all of this because in searching for the good life, people were able to come up with creations that would make life easier, more comfortable, and more enriching because that is what technology is for, to provide us good life, to provide us easier life. Position-wise, the human of today are much better off compared to the human several centuries ago. Advancement in medicine, technology, health, and education ushered in humanity's best yet and show no sign of stopping. So, these are some of the notable comparisons then and now.
Evolution of modern technologies. Communication used to be simple and intimate. During 1876, technology began to change. The way we work, the way we connect, it changes. Even the way we find love. And the way we socialize. And yet, it complicates things. And yet, it consumes us. And in a way, it controls us. Or disconnected, distance, and that is how modern technology works.